Okay, let me just switch to Tabletop Simulator so you can see the game. Here it is in Tabletop
Mm,
Simulator.
nice.
So what we
Yeah.
have here is a scenario of the game. It has many missions, many scenarios that you play through. It's a story-based game. There's a narrative, and you can make your own team of characters that you play. Every player chooses a character, and during the game, you will upgrade that character and make them stronger. And
Mm,
we'll go over that in a bit.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very
Yeah.
cool. It's very narrative, and it's basically a dungeon crawler in space. And it has puzzles to solve. It has combat. It has stuff you can do. So
Mm,
we've
it
just
is yeah, the best uh, easily the easiest way to describe it for most people has been the Mass Effect of board game.
yeah,
So for those who know the video game, which I guess is quite a few of your viewers
probably
can
yeah.
imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've picked a scenario to play, and two characters. We've got the Eradicator, and what's this guy's name? Antathus.
Tatis. Yeah.
Antathus. And let me just zoom in a bit on that character because we all have a character dashboard, as you can see here. And there's a couple of things that you will notice here. So we got their character name and portrait here, of course, the class or the race. This is a
Hmm?
Leviathan. It's looking a pretty brutish species. And we have these colored attributes here.
Personality tokens. It's the personality that develops for the character. So you don't have XP or regular leveling up system.
Hmm.
You have personality growth for the character that you play as, which is mostly based on your decisions and play style throughout the campaign.
All right. Yep. And as you progress, you can sometimes pick one of these four traits to
Hmm.
upgrade. So you color in one of those white lines. So you can see that we've already colored in a couple here. And so every time you color in a line and you level that trait up, you get one of these tokens. And you can use
Yeah.
those during the game once, I believe, during each mission to.
Exactly, it's a one-time boost of the different actions that you do, yeah, or perform.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We have an attribute here, a special skill. This one has redirecting strength. Once per turn, you may spend one, I think that's a shield, yes,
Yeah,
to gain +1 to your following action. So
yeah.
an action could be attacking or moving or hacking or all kinds of stuff.
Mm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
again, as you go, you might find new skills that you basically put on the board here in these empty spots. We have focus over here.
Yeah, that you
Uh,
use for re-rolling the dice. So if
exactly.
you need to re-roll a die you're not satisfied with, you can do that. Yeah,
Yeah, you can spend
spend them.
a token, move that down, and you can re-roll as many as you want of just one die per.
One die per re-roll per focus. Yeah. So.
Right. And different characters have a bigger track and than others. Same for the shields
Yeah.
here. This one has a
Yeah.
maximum of 5, so he's pretty strong. He can shield himself pretty
Mm.
well, and you can spend the shield to ignore a damage, right?
Yeah. So you basically that is your first line of defense when the enemies attack you,
Yeah,
unless they have piercing or unblockable damage that goes through shields. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So that's basically the main things that your character can do. This is basically just your active. An inactive token here means that your turn has been spent. Your turn is done, and after everybody has taken a turn and the enemy, the AI, has taken a turn, you flip that back over to the active side
Yeah.
again. And then finally, we all have a deck of cards. So I have these cards in my hand here. Every character has its own deck of cards, and these are your abilities. These are basically your actions, and you play them on this track here, and this is a cooldown track. So you've got one, two, three, four, and some of these will have a number on them. So Emil, if you maybe want to explain that in detail.
So when it's your turn, you can perform two actions, and one of those actions can be to play a card. Another one can be to concentrate if you want to get focus back. You've spent to re-rolling dice, or you can rest to move cards that is already on your track. So if you wanted to play a card or to perform an action, you could, for example, move. It has a move icon, and it has to be played in cooldown 2 or higher. You can always play a card higher than its cost, but the cooldown cost for this run and tear card is 2. So you could play it here, and you would then have a die allocated with that action, meaning you will roll a die, and then what you get from this die, you can then add to the action you are performing. So the dice have different results. I can show you here are the potential results. Plus ones and twos add to anything the action has in brackets. And then shields, recharge shields, meaning that you will gain shield that you might have lost. And then some speed, sorry. Ja, kan du lige vente 2 sekunder, min dame, så skal jeg nok lige gøre det. Okay? Må du undskylde. Kan du gøre det? Okay, jeg sidder lige og snakker. Yeah. That was Danish, if anyone was, wondering what that language was. Then the move, the green icons here means that you get move points, 1 move point per icon. So you can also gain move points when you are rolling your dice. So in this case here, you could, for example, either take a shield if you needed a shield, or you could gain a +1 to your action. This would mean a move 4 squares and then deal 1 unblockable damage to the adjacent enemy. Nej, jeg snakker med en anden en, så jeg skal lige have mulighed for at snakke også. So, yeah. Right. And that would be your first action. You would then perform the action, and then after that you might want to play another card. And in this case here, if you wanted to play another 2 card, you would have to put it up in 3 because you cannot have overlapping cards. So they need to go on a higher cooldown slot. So that means you need to plan out how you perform your actions, in what order, and when do you want to get the action cards back on your hand. Because once the 2 actions has been performed, you're done with your turn. And then every card moves 1 down on the track, and any card that moves into 0 will be going straight back to your hand. All right. So in this case here, if you needed this card a lot and it was the beginning of your turn, you could spend 1 action to rest, get this one back, play it again on 2, and then once you perform the 2 actions here, then you would move it 1 down as the free rest action, which is also indicated here. Perform 2 actions, flip the activation token, or rest, flip the activation token over here, and then move the turn token down here, because you have a set amount of turns to perform a mission. So, yeah. So, that is it.
That's basically what you do on your turn. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. All right. So, I think the scenario still needs to be set up. We need to put down our characters and enemies.
Yeah. So first, we have done several of these missions before. Like we've done 1, 2, 3, so you can actually see them, and I've done with other YouTubers as well, so you can see whatever you want to see. But they're we have recorded together at least 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and the third mission, right? Yeah, 2 sekunder. So this is the 4th mission, and we have actually decided on at the end of mission 3 where we wanted to go. So you could go to 2 different mission 4s, and then it kind of branches out from there to different states. So mission 4 here starts with a bit of briefing over here. So you can quickly go through that.
All right.
Then I will just mute and just print a couple of images I promised for my girl. So
That's okay.
just and then you can go to the next page and you can see the setup. I've already put out the tokens over here, so they just need to be placed on the board.
Okay,
So
sorry.
yeah,
I got a bit of a cold,
just
so now and then I need to quickly blow my nose a bit.
so just a second.
All right, so let me just read the scenario that we're playing then. It's called Close Enough. It's chapter 4, scenario B, because this branches. You can make choices during the game and have a different mission to play every time. So it's pretty cool. That also adds to the replayability. So if you've played through the entire game with a group of heroes, then you can replay it, you pick some different characters and make different decisions perhaps, or sometimes an outcome will simply be different because you failed it, for example. So in this case, we have the mission brief, and it says there's Gwendar, and she's there in person. She says, "Hey, Commander, nice to finally meet you. My name is Gwendar, and I'm the ship's medic, cook, and occasional rear gunner, depending on the situation, you might say. I'm really looking forward to following your missions. Ambrosius, hired me a few weeks back when I was, well, it doesn't matter. But to finally get going with some missions and such a capable commander is exciting, and Ambrosius is also there, in person. There's no need to fawn over the commander quite so brazenly, Lieutenant. Now, back to business, Commander. As I pointed out earlier, Site 2 is reliant on security surveillance from the orbital platform, meaning that it's currently completely blind except for the pirate guards patrolling the surrounding area. I've ordered Camriel to drop you off right next to the facility's west entrance." And Camriel is on the comms. "Please ready your team, Commander. We'll be ready for drop in 30 minutes. So then we've read that. That's a little bit of the premise, what's going on there. And when ready, continue to C4B, which is the mission layout. So let me see if that's in here. I'm just going to peek. And there it is. There's the mission layout, C4B. So we already picked the correct map.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
there's Emil again.
I'm back again. So the printing went well.
That's good.
But I accidentally turned off my
Camera.
I turned off my camera, but it should be on again. Can you see it?
Not yet, but might.
It should be on now.
There it is again. Yeah.
Okay.
You're back.
Super. So a kid is happy now as well. Something to draw.
Good, good. All right, so here's the mission layout, and you're about to set it up.
So yeah, we will put a guard over here.
The red
There's a
one.
guard matching the one there, yeah, and the red 2 right below here. And we need some blocked paths here and here, and a console in there, yes. And then we can deploy up in this square here.
Exactly, that's where the team is.
So yeah, we can just put our guys here for now.
Yep.
And then there is a tiny bit for these the guard, and Ambrosius is kind of instructing us on what's going to happen.
Right. So we got 4 turns, right? That's correct.
We have no, that's just leftover from whatever else. But this one here, when you go to mission parameters, the idea is you only have one page from the campaign book. It's a spiral book, so you only ever have to deal with one page of campaign material at a time. So you can easily reference whatever is going on, and you don't have to move back and forth to cross-reference stuff.
Right.
But the mission parameters are the important aspect here, because that's where we check our success, if there are any triggers or any failure condition on this this mission segment. Because as soon as we've cleared this mission segment, then we move on to the next segment. So a mission is compiled of several segments that can move in one direction. As you said, like if you fail halfway through, you might not be done with the mission. It might branch somewhere else, or if you fail in the end, it might branch to another cutscene, and so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah. That's
so
really
cool. For this one, success is that we eliminate the enemies before they get adjacent to the console.
Okay.
So, and the trick and condition is enemy's turn. All enemies move 2 squares towards the console, always taking the shortest route.
Mm-hmm.
And failure if they uh, get adjacent to this console here.
Yeah.
So we don't have any timer here because the timer is in itself that they will get to the consoles quite fast. So we
Right.
need to
Right.
kill them before that
Quickly. Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
All right. So they're gonna sound the alarm.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and some of these characters have already have their 3D miniatures modeled here in Tabletop Simulator. The idea is that the final game will have a miniature for all the heroes. Correct.
Yeah, all the heroes will have miniatures.
Yeah.
And all the enemies, since they have stats on them, they will remain cardboard so that you can easily look at them and see
Yeah.
how dangerous they are. You don't have to look away and find a card or anything. You can straight away tell how dangerous they are.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
the guards here, for example, have a range of 1 melee characters, and they can move up to 3. In
Yep.
this setup, they only move 2, but
Oh. Okay.
they will do that on regular behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and they deal 2 damage. So if they were going into combat with us, they would punch us for 2.
Yep.
And then they have 1 shield, which is a permanent shield,
Yep.
and then 4 health.
Okay.
So we need to either do 5 damage to them straight from 1, or if you do it over 2 times, you need to do 6 damage to them,
Yeah.
because you need to go through the shield every time you deal
Exactly.
damage, right?
Unless you
So
have a
yeah,
shield negating skill.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we need to be fast here. That's really nice.
Yeah.
All right. Some pressure. Okay. Well, let's see who
Yeah.
starts.
Let's have yeah. So and there's no set way that you have to do perform the actions or perform the turns. So I can go first now, and you can go second this time, or and then we can switch around once we have both performed an action,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how we see the situation unfold. So yeah, so as soon as you performed an action, you or performed your turn, you flip the activation token so that the other players, if you're playing a 2 or 3 or 4 player game, they have to perform their turns before you can again
Yeah.
do your things.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I'm just gonna take a look at my cards, the stuff
yeah.
that I can do. I have an interact card,
Mm,
which also lets me deal 1 damage to an adjacent enemy, but that's not enough to get through the shield. I can
no.
interact or even
You can of
heal.
course roll to get more, but
Yeah.
it would be a maximum of 3 since
Yep.
the maximum is +2 on the die.
Yeah, exactly. I have a basic move. I have armored claws, so that's pretty cool that this creature has these claws. Move an adjacent enemy to a free adjacent square from you and deal 1 shield negating damage to it, or deal 2 damage to an adjacent enemy. All right. So that's cool, but you don't get any extra
Mhm.
dice from that. Let's see. Move 3 and then deal 1 shield negating damage to an adjacent
Oh,
enemy.
oh, that's because I've taken one of your cards here. You
Oh,
should have this one as well. I don't know how it came to my,
all
my
right.
place, but you have this one here, which is an interesting one because it
Oh, this one.
it while it doesn't do much when you play it, it can allow you to get a +2 to your next action, so you can perform a pretty strong action.
Oh, this it's the muscle regeneration that you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, okay.
exactly. Yeah. So you can either heal yourself and you can gain shield if you're in
Yeah.
that kind of trouble, but you can also gain 2 focus and +2 to your next action this turn, which
Oh.
is significant, of course, if you want
Mm-hmm.
to shoot or kill somebody.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. So I could, yeah, if I do that, the 2 dice that I roll could allow me to move. So I could move to
Mhm.
one of
Yeah.
the enemies with that, hopefully,
Mhm.
and then do the action, which in this case gaining or shield or healing doesn't work because I'm already at full health and full shields. But we can just ignore that. Also,
Mm.
my focus is full, unless I have to spend a focus to re-roll the dice and
Yeah.
maybe get something else. And then I
Yeah.
have +2 for my next action, which I could add to in attack.
Yeah. So, for example, this one here. So basically, you have 2 dice with the first muscle generation, where you also gain 2 focus, meaning that you can actually do 2 rerolls if you're not too happy with what's going on,
Exactly.
or what you rolled, and then you get a +2. So if you combine it with the armored claws, you could do 3 piercing damage to an enemy adjacent to you, right? So, or you could, for example, if you get into position, you could use the rifle and deal 5 damage. You would just have to be 3 squares away from the target you want to
Yes,
hit.
and we count squares both orthogonally and diagonally,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes,
at
correct.
this moment, so this is my character, the blue one. So I'm 2 squares away from both of them at the moment. So if I wanted to use this, I'd have to move at least 1 square away from them. And it deals 3 damage, of course, -1 for the shield. So that's 2, but if I could add a +2 to that, then that would actually be pretty good, because then I instantly kill one of them.
We like insta-kills.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I might just do that. So let's see. This was the one with the +2, right? This has a cooldown of 2, so I'm gonna play this. If you allow me to start.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go
I'll
nuts.
play this, and that has a 2, so I'm placing that in the 2 slot over here. So let's just first start with rolling those 2 dice. So I'll take 1, 2 dice here and roll them. There we go. That's a +1 and a shield. I kind of want a movement. So I'll spend a focus to re-roll one of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, you can spend 1 more. It's free.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting it back anyway, so come on.
Yeah.
Come on, give me movement. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 3 re-rolls and no movement at all. All right. Well, I gained 2 focus from this guard. Oh, 2. And I have a +2 to my next action. So hopefully I can choose an action that will still let me damage it. Not this one. So let's see. We have move 3 and then deal 1. But then the +2 will only be applied to the numbers in brackets. So that would just allow me to move more. So that's not very handy at the moment. Move an adjacent enemy to free adjacent of you. This does, because this says it deals 2 damage to an adjacent enemy or 1 damage which ignores armor, but that's basically the same, right, in this case?
Yeah, in this case, yeah.
But it's not an adjacent enemy at the moment.
Not yet, no.
Move an adjacent enemy to free adjacent. Oh, okay, that's a bummer. This didn't work right. No, what's this? This is a stance. At the end of your turn, before the free rest action, deal 2 damage to all adjacent enemies, but they'll block 1 of that. So that's not very effective.
Otherwise, you could definitely run ahead and run into the facility, or run over here and then be prepared to take out this guy, and then I will try to take out this guy, for example. Like,
that's an option too. Yeah.
We can do something like that.
Yeah, because otherwise I would only be dealing 2 damage with the basic interact if I roll again.
If you roll, yeah.
Which I
so it's better maybe just to move. Yeah.
So yeah, okay, I'll do that then. That's a shame, but I can use the movement +2. That's 3 movement plus a die. So I'll put that on the 0 because it's a 0. It'll come back to me right away. So that means I move 3 right now, plus I get to roll another die. So hopefully that'll get me some more movement.
It should.
Come on, movement. Oh, it's incredible.
That's just because there's camera on. Don't worry about
it. Well, that's still 3, so I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3 over there. And then it's your turn, so I'll flip my... Oh,
Yeah.
now I have the free... Oh,
Yeah.
flip it. It's the F button. So that means this comes back to my hand. It's a
Yeah.
free rest action. I'll put that on the left here. And this moves down one spot.
One. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And since there's no timer, we don't move that, but these guys move 1, 2,
Yep.
1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let me try to catch this guy over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. I will do a run and brace. I can move 4 squares
All right.
and deal 1 unblockable damage to an enemy when
Oh,
you
nice.
stop. But there is no upgrading of any of it. So I got a +1, but this card here does not have anything in brackets, so the +1 does not work
Doesn't
for
do
that.
anything, yeah.
So, but I could have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
I will be there, and I will deal 1 damage to this guy. So
Yep.
I just move the token underneath
Yes. Let me just
to
zoom in
indicate that
on
he has 3 lives left.
Yes, exactly.
And then I will use my repeater rifle. Now my character is a bit different because it also deals damage like your character, but mine is at the expense of dealing damage to myself. So it is a bit of a different dynamic to it. So this one here, I can deal 4 damage and I can split it up among chosen enemies. But I will just choose you, guard, and not anyone else. So I will deal 4 damage to him. He has 3 plus a shield, which means he is dead. And then I have to deal 1 unblockable damage, like 1 that goes through my shield to myself.
Right.
So I draw a damage card.
Oh.
Okay. So here I drew a damage card that says place this card on slot 3. So that means I get this card back on my hand.
Oh,
and this one goes in here.
Yeah.
So the adrenaline gives me back my my card if it has to go into the same spot. But if I drew another 3-slot damage, it would have to go on 4.
Exactly.
So you cannot put anything on top of each other. So damage card, they accumulate, and of course makes it tricky in the end. And if we can play with the idea that I will be playing on hard, maybe on insane. Maybe that should be a thing. I don't know. Let's say hard just for you know. But the idea is that the damage cards are individual since they only go on your own cooldown track, and therefore I can decide to play on hard difficulty. Whereas it's been a long time since you played, so you can just play on regular difficulty where you're only taking into consideration the top row when you draw a damage card. You have to do what it says, right?
Oh,
but for me, if I play on hard, I will also have to consider the ongoing effect, this one being quite severe, where the ongoing effect while the card is in my track is that all non-basic actions have -1 die, which is tough. So yeah, that's that.
So these cards also have a cooldown. They move along.
They had most of them have cooldown. Some of them have 0 in cooldown, so you don't leave them on the cooldown track, but you still have an influence of maybe losing a shield or a focus or something. Or they can worsen other damage by moving them further up the track, because of course the higher they are, the worse the damage is, because you cannot put anything in that slot until you have rested the damage off the track again.
Yeah.
So there's no regular damage or regular health system for characters. It's all relative to what damage they get, which makes it harder to play. But the idea is not that you die every now and then while you're on mission.
Right.
Okay, but that was my turn. So I will move these down once.
Yep.
Flip the token, and yeah, then this guy moves 1, 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so now we have to do some catch up.
Yep.
And then we are back to our turn. Now we are both flipped our tokens, so we can flip them back again,
Yep.
and we can decide who should go next. So yeah, I mean it's probably a good idea if you move in and try to, and I can always try to shoot him from a distance if it doesn't work out.
So let's see.
Because we still have one turn after it ends up here, and I will explain if that happens why that is. But,
Okay.
So.
That's tough because I don't think I can do enough damage. This doesn't have. Oh well, possibly within 3 to 7. So how does line of sight work again? Basically
from middle to middle, so you can
dots.
cross corners from middle to middle. So just like you would perceive a chessboard, there are these small dots.
Yep,
That
exactly.
means you can shoot from middle to middle.
And if I, for example, was standing in this spot here, right?
Yeah, you could shoot him because it crosses exactly.
Yeah.
Two from each other cross the same intersection as one from each other when it's diagonal, right?
Okay, so diagonal doesn't matter if it crosses the end of a wall.
Exactly. It's why the red lines have been withdrawn into the illustration.
Right.
So the red lines are the only thing that obscure line of sight. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Okay, so I basically just need to see if I can move one spot and then try to shoot him with my rifle, because this deals 3 damage, possibly more, to an enemy within 3. So I'll use my standard movement, I guess. Let's see. Oh, Yorosi has entered the chat. I see. This looks like a lot of fun. Yes, I think my friends and I would really enjoy it. That's awesome. Let me just show you the. Let me see. I have the Kickstarter link right there. If you want to sign up for the upcoming Kickstarter, then you can just leave your email address there, and you'll get an update from Emil when the time comes, and you can hop on board and be a backer of the game.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and of course, join the Discord if you want to talk about it or have questions for sure, or post them here while we.
Yes, of course. That's why we're playing here. Everybody's free to
awesome.
ask any questions you have, and you're also free to backseat if you want to suggest, what I do. That's more than welcome. You're all welcome to play along. All right. So let's see. Yeah, this lets me move 1. Plus, I get a die, so possibly more. So, well, this is 0, so I can put that here. I will roll this die. No, I'm gonna roll another die because that was my unlucky die.
The broken one.
Yeah, the broken one. Oh my god.
Huh.
It's just not.
I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with Steam by now.
It's all shields.
Yeah. Well, and there's only one. I mean, if I told you you have to roll shields all the time, there's only 1/6 of a chance to do that. So you're doing pretty fine.
Yeah. What are the odds? Well, still, I can move here, and then it will be 1, 2, 3 spots away from me. So that's it's fine for the rifle. So I'll play the rifle in spot 3, and that says deal 3 damage to an enemy within 3. So if I can roll, well, I can't kill it yet because it has a shield. The guard has a shield.
Yeah, he has 5 life technically, right?
Yeah,
the shield counts
damage,
as an extra life for that. But you see, you have a token, a support token here that allows you to temporarily upgrade your shock rifle with an extra damage, meaning that it deals 4 damage, and you have a die with a 4 out of 6 chance of doing the +1, which might be 5. So. Yeah, which is, of course, that's a bit.
I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
So if you want there was any moment in the entire game that I needed to roll a plus something, it would be now. Okay.
So if you want to use the token here, then you would just like place it and say, okay, I use it, and it will be out of this mission, so you won't have that resource anymore.
Yeah.
But you can definitely do that if you want to.
All right. Yeah. Let's do that then. And then I'm going to roll this. Come on. There's a +1.
Okay, good.
Fine. With a shield. Still, the game is telling me I'm still getting a shield in. But I got a +1. So that means we got a +1 from the token, a +1 from the die. That's 5 damage, -1 from the shield. that means I take the guard out.
Super.
Finally.
Okay. So, and that means you finish your turn. So you
Yep.
rest and
Flip
flip
this
your
over,
token.
take this one back into my hand. This one moves here, also comes back into my hand.
Yeah.
And this one moves, moves to spot number 2. There we go.
Yeah. And
Good.
as you can see here, after your turn, we do mission checks. So you always do the mission checks after player turn.
Yes.
So in between a player turn and the enemy's turn, you do the mission check.
Mm-hmm.
So we will now see, did we succeed? We did. So we are allowed to continue in our choose your own adventure stylish campaign book.
Perfect.
So we can go to the next page here.
Yep.
So in this one here, we have to place a few things. There are some that needs to be placed right away, and then there are potential for some enemies to appear if we don't do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we need some thugs, and it says here place TS, and that's team size. So the enemies are usually scaled for the amount of players playing the game. So we need to play some thugs, and we need to, let's see here.
The yellow square and guards in the red square. So that's 2 each then, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Well, let me just see here. Whoop. And we will just take the guards back. The red ones here, we'll just use these we had before. Is it, it's one further down here and here. And we get to redeploy ourselves. Let me just see, is that really correct? That must be, it must be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, and 1, 2.
So yeah. And a few other things have not been touched so far. So the campaign only shows you what you update. It doesn't show you things that might potentially still be there. So you can see that there are no blocked paths indicated on the illustration, but that's because they have not been updated, so they are still there. So you don't have to take into consideration something is missing and all that. You only apply the things that are there, changing the things that you can actually see. So so you don't have to, because otherwise I would have to sometimes, if people can go through 3 different doors, then I would have to consider, how do I show that they potentially have gone through only one of them, and
which
so
ones
on
did
and so
they
forth.
open and which ones did they not
Exactly.
open? Yeah,
So
exactly.
so you only consider things that is there on the illustration.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. Then we have
so
we why 5 and 6 is for up to 6 players then. Or are those different ones?
Oh no, that's because I might introduce enemies that also needs to be there, even though we haven't killed the new one. So I need to be able to scale it further. So 5 and 6 is just some I might deploy later. But I cannot say for certain that you have killed 1 and 2. So I cannot take those tokens and use. I know you had killed red 1 and 2 from previous, because otherwise you could not get to this point. So I can reuse red 1 and 2, but I cannot reuse red 1 and 2 if I want to deploy new enemies later on, if I do not account for that you might not have killed them. So this is a consequence. The yellow 5 and 6 and red 5 and 6 are for reinforcements that might turn up if we are not doing this properly.
Okay.
So Camril here, that's the pilot of the ship. He announces to us that there's a group of soldiers returning, or group of guards returning, and we should probably try to take those guys out and make sure that we can disable the console afterwards, because they are carrying ID tags.
Right.
So the mission parameters here are 1, to eliminate the enemies.
Right.
And 2, to disable the console. So the console in the bottom there, that was a trigger before, and now a goal for this part.
Okay.
And the triggers here are that the enemy turn, all enemies move 1 square towards the console, always taking the shortest route.
Yep.
So and they always go first when enemies are introduced into the mission. They always go first because it goes 1 player turn, 2 update or intervention from the mission, and then 3 enemies turn. So whenever the enemies are introduced through an update, they go first afterwards because it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So you're always a bit on the heels when you are doing the missions because the enemies get to act first.
Okay.
We like tension.
Tension, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and the enemies have no behavior for now, but if players find themselves within range and line of sight of the enemy at the end of a player turn, or if they attack an enemy, change their EBC, which is the enemy behavior card, to coordinated attack.
Right.
So I will show you that once we start dealing damage.
Exactly.
And they will still continue to move towards the console, so they want to, yeah. Okay, so we need to eliminate the enemies and disable the console. And if an enemy gets adjacent to the console, then we will spawn some other enemies in those 2 areas. So if that happens, then we will get back to why the yellow 5, 6 and red 5 and 6 are there.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, and we get to redeploy in this square here.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out what would be a good idea. If these guys come in
probably from
this way,
first,
right?
Yeah, so probably.
And these guys come in this way here.
They are? They're gonna go north? Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they will go the same way.
They're all gonna go south, yeah.
Okay. So, but they start moving 1 square towards the console.
Yep.
So I can manage that.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, I should move these guys like 2, 1, and 2. There. Okay.
They do.
And I need to take my turn then because you took your turn before the before the mission updated. So now it's my turn because we need to both have flipped before we can each take our turns again.
Oh. Yes.
Okay.
Go take him out.
Ja, det er godt, Lukas. Nej, ikke lige nu. So, I think it might make sense to move 1, 2. I would need a 1, 2 here. Then I could shoot at somebody. Yeah. I will also deal a lot of damage to myself, so it is a bit tricky. Okay, but I think I will try to do that.
Okay.
Okay, I will move. Okay, +2. Nice. Yeah, so I could actually go straight into the faces. Is that a good idea? No. 1, 2. Oof. I think I will stay here.
Hey! Be a child!
And shoot one of them.
Vordriller is now following.
Thank you, Vordriller, for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. We're playing Rogue Angels, as of now, still a prototype. Not all the art, as you can see, is final because some are placeholders like this one. But it's in an advanced stadium of development at the moment, and Emil is the designer over here. And we're playing a mission from the quite large mission book. And it's a story-driven branching game, campaign game, cooperative, and we're currently in the second part of the mission, and we're trying to take out these guards before they raise the alarm. So Emil is taking his turn, and he moved
Yeah.
over here. So you've moved, and now
Yeah.
you've
And then I play this
the repeating
here,
rifle.
so I can deal some damage. And I
Yeah.
think if they were weaker enemies, I might want to scatter my shots against several enemies. But since they have shields, it's stupid to split your damage, right? Then it will just deal less. So I will just fire everything at number 1, I think.
Exactly. Just one of them, yeah, the closest one.
Yeah. So he's it's 4 damage. So
Yeah,
I
he
will
still
have
has
to
one.
use. Yeah, I will have to use
Okay.
my
The red token.
dominating token, so I can deal 5 damage to him.
Yes, and that will take
So
him out.
and then he's dead. And then I have to draw a. Oof, okay. See, that's where it gets a little bit dangerous for this character, because now I have to place a severe open wound on spot 4, and I've performed my 2 actions, so I will rest. So now I have quite a few damages on me, which means once they start eating me up, it gets a bit tricky. I will flip my activation token, and of course I also need to move the turn token, where we have 8 turns, because
Right.
yeah, the mission here has a turn limit of either 8, 10, or 12 turns. So those are either for 2 characters, for 3 characters, or 4 characters. So we will go with 8 turns, split among us here.
Yep.
I will move it down to 7. We have 7 turns left to finish this part.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's the mission check then after me, because I of course shot one of them. They know what's going on now.
Yep.
And we then have to use this list. It's a series of cards I've just compiled into a PDF because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
But the card called Coordinated Attack, we need to use that card and start on the red side. So the red enemies go this turn, and on the enemy's next turn, we flip the card to the other side, where the yellow enemies will activate.
Right. Okay.
So I shot number 1. So number 2 goes up and becomes lowest initiative, because 2 enemies can activate on the enemy's turn, and it's the lowest initiative and the second lowest initiative. So if you kill number 2, then 1 and 3 might go, or if you kill number 1, like I did, number 2 will go, and if there were a third one, number 3 would go after him.
Okay.
So
that,
there's also
the arrows on the left. That means the R. Is that the one with the highest initiative?
These over here.
That.
Yeah, that means the lowest initiative and second lowest initiative.
Okay.
So the lowest initiative takes whatever actions are in the first row, and the second lowest in the second row. And the third row is for special conditions. So in this case, if the activated enemy is at full health, include exclamation mark, the third row here, as the last action. So it could play into what would happen. For now, it won't, but you can see he will start this guy by moving towards nearest player,
right,
which is me. 1, 2. Now he's adjacent to me.
They move. Well, they could actually move 3, but 2 is enough because now they're adjacent.
2 is enough to reach his goal, which the move action is always to get within range. That is their focus of the move action, and their priority is written underneath the move action, called nearest player. So in that case, that's me. Or in this case, that's me. And he will deal damage to nearest player, which is also me. So I take 2 damage on my shield here. And if you had been standing in any way next to him as well, in this case, then he would have included, or he will include this one that says deal damage to second nearest player. So if there was another one, he would also have hit that guy. But in this case, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm far away.
Yeah. So that is that's the enemy's turn.
All right.
and we can flip our tokens back and figure out who should go next.
Yes. All right. Flip that back. Let's see. Well, I mean, since you're next to him anyway, you may want to try and take him out. I don't know, or if you want me to do something, because I still have many of my
Yeah.
actions available.
I think you could probably take out both the yellow guys,
Oh, really?
and you have this fourth Kinbu call stance where you can deal damage continuously while this card is in your track, so you can, you know, rip people apart.
To all adjacent enemies.
Mm.
Right. So I just need to get close to them.
Yeah. I can deal some damage to this guy, which might be good. I don't think I can finish him off, but I could deal some damage to him and then run away or pull back a bit.
Yeah. Well, I need to get in range first, so I have quite a bit of movement to do before I can actually reach them. So let's see. My basic move action here can be upgraded with 1 or 2 if I roll well. Is there anything else that might be handy? Move 3 and then deal 1 damage. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. That could work. I could move 3 towards that shield carrying guard. Let's see. And then deal 1 shield penetrating damage. I could spend a red token, which I have, to deal extra damage. And that would be 2.
I mean, you always have this where you can sacrifice some shield to get
right,
a
that's
+1,
right.
which, so if you need to move that extra or be certain of getting somewhere, it could be you'll be able to move 4. Well, on the next turn, if I go first and I withdraw in, then they will come closer and you will be able to act on that, I think, and you would not have to be lucky with your rolls.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good choice.
So yeah. So what you mean by that is I could take this one out with the run and tear, and then if I play the stance after that, it deals 2 damage, which is the one remaining that I need.
Yeah.
And then you could move into the other 2, and then I could come in after you and finish it, hopefully.
Yeah.
If that is.
Let's see here. You would do a, but you would only do 2 on 2 piercing damage, right? So you would do 2 piercing damage, but you would need then 3 on your last.
Let's see.
Right.
I deal 1.
So that would not be enough to kill him. He's still on 4 health. So.
Oh yeah. That's 2.
But I can do some damage to him and then pull back, because then you can finish probably every one of them.
Every one of them.
Perhaps, yeah.
Interesting.
Because with your stance here, you can deal some significant damage to.
Because they don't have a shield. No, they don't.
No, exactly.
They take 3 health. This deals 2 damage plus an action. Well, sure. So you want to go first then?
Yeah, okay. I will try to and see. So I will start by using my power feedback armor.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of my turn, before the free rest action, I will deal. I will have to stay here, but that's probably fine. Mm-hmm. I will just do a basic interact on him.
Yeah.
And punch him. A little bit. Because then they need to go here in order to shoot at me, something like that.
But you will need to boost that 1 damage with at least 1.
Yeah.
Because of the shield.
Yeah.
You do get to roll a die, so hopefully you will roll a +1 or maybe even a +2. Well, you still have focus to spend.
Yeah, I will try. Let's just try here. Okay, I will use a focus. So.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Ja, kan jeg godt se. Kan du lige give mig 2 sekunder? Ja. So I dealt 2 damage to him because 3 minus 1. So,
Exactly.
oi, that was better than expected.
Yes.
And then I will use this one here.
Yes.
It has a die, which I could use some shield. Thank you.
That's nice.
Yes.
Get an extra shield.
And then at the end of my turn, before the free rest action, deal
Another
1
damage.
unblockable damage to an adjacent enemy for each damage card you have on your track.
Ooh,
So I can deal 2 damage to that guy.
unblockable, so he's gone.
Yes.
Well done.
So he's gone. I am, of course, also a sitting duck when I cannot move, but you know. So I rested this damage off me now, and I flip this one and go to 6.
And
And
just to
we
be
have-
clear,
Yep.
this card says, for each damage card on your
Yeah.
track, that basically means the rifle, because that is a damage dealing
Oh
card.
no, it's a damage.
Oh, for
It's
his
an action
wound.
card. It's wound cards. Damage cards are. This is a action card,
Yeah.
and if you want to, it's an action card with an interaction because it has the interaction icon. Damage card has the damage icon up here.
Right. So, this
So
is wound on.
it actually is good to have a lot of damage. You can do some burst damage, but you're also significantly closer to dying or to,
Yeah.
to being unconscious, right? So therefore, it does make it, it's a double-edged sword, right? So yeah. Lige et sekund, ikke også, min name? Kan du sidde stille? So,
Hello.
yeah. So now it's the enemy's turn.
All right.
Because I have finished my turn,
Yep.
flipped the token and moved the turn token. So we will flip the enemy behavior card to the yellow side.
So the
And they
enemies
will-
move after every player's turn.
Every player's turn, but only the yellow or the red. So if you killed all the red, then the yellows will continue to activate, but otherwise it will switch between them.
Yeah,
So you
okay.
can anticipate what you want to do, and but
Exactly.
of course remaining enemies become more dangerous because they can activate it more often.
More often, yeah.
So okay, so coordinated attack for the yellow ones. They want to go to get within range so they can shoot me because it says move towards last activated player. That's
Right.
me. So number 1 moves here. Now
Yep.
he can see. So
Yep.
because like there you go straight through
Exactly.
the corner. So he deals damage.
Mhm.
To me, that's 1, and then unfortunately he include the third one because he's at full health, right? Which means he now shoots at every player.
All right.
Which
Yes.
I'm kind of also every player. Like I mean, if we were both within range, he would hit us both
Yep.
one time each. But I'm also in that action every player, of course, so I get another damage.
Oh wow! So that's
Because-
in addition
yeah.
to all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because every action is its own thing, so
Yeah.
you are not considering previous actions. You just do the next action, you do the next action, and you look at that, and it says deal damage to every player. So it doesn't care
Who's
who
already
else
been
got
hit.
hurt
Yeah.
previously. Yeah. So, and the
Okay.
second one can also move like this, and now he can also see me.
Does the same. Yeah. Ooh.
So, and then he will shoot me for 1, and then he will shoot me for 1 again. So,
There go your shields.
yeah.
Good thing you
Oh,
got an extra
yeah.
one.
And here is the challenge with this guy is now I have a third that has to go on here. So my effect card, which is very nice, unfortunately is returned to my hand, which
Oh,
is
you got a wound still
not so.
because you did have
Yeah.
2 shields, right?
I had 2 shields, but I got 2 damage. I had 1 shield and I got 2
Oh, you
damage
had
from
1
him.
shield. I thought you had 2. Okay.
Yeah. So and it had to go on 3, so it is here, therefore here now.
Yeah.
So
that's
returning my
okay.
otherwise good card, so that sucks.
On an interact
And that
cards, minus
leaves it
1.
up to you to
Try and take
finish
them
them off for now. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, Lilla, så jeg vil lige,
Let's see,
hvad
move
hedder det,
3.
lad os lige gå ud
That's does.
og finde den der tegning igen, ikke? Vil du have 2 af dem så?
Nej tak, kun én.
Er du sikker på det? Jeg tror også, det er bedst, hvis jeg tager 2, tror du ikke? Hvis jeg tager 2 af den der, ikke? Okay. Sådan der. Okay. Min goddammit.
This is tough. Because I don't have that much movement.
Så.
I'm not getting close enough to use the stance. How can I make sure that you think I can take them out in this turn?
You can, let's see, if you use your run and tear,
Yeah.
and you can move. You need to move 4, which is 5 out of 6 chance.
Should be doable, yeah.
It should be doable, yeah. I mean, you must have spent your bad luck by now.
Hopefully, yeah.
And you will deal 1 damage to one of them.
Yep.
And then you could, if you want to,
Well,
you could use this one here afterwards, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, right, yeah. And then
And then you would use the token that says deal 1 damage to an adjacent enemy. You would deal 1 damage to the other enemy, and then at the end of your turn, you deal 2 damage to both of them. They have 3 health, so
all right.
they die.
Okay, let's go for it. So run and tear doesn't go on 2 because that's taken, so that goes on 3.
Yep.
So I get 1 die to roll. Oh boy, come on. Yep. Oh, that's good. That's 2 extra movement. That's great. Plus the 3 we have, so that's 1, 2, 3. I'll just put him here then. That's enough.
And one of them gets a damage, so one of them is now on 2 health. Yeah.
Yep. Deals 1 damage. Fantastic. Do I add an extra damage from the?
He only has 2 damage left, so that means, and you will do that with the other card, so that would be waste.
All right. So I play the Kinbu Call stance.
Yep. And you get a 1 die, so you.
Let's see what that gives me.
You have full shield actually, so.
More movement. There's nothing here, so all that I could get was actually I should have taken one of these dice, but I'm full shields, so that doesn't really matter.
But you want to, of course, use your dominating token because then you deal 1 damage to one of the adjacent ones. So the other one is dealt another damage.
Yeah, I'll do it to the other, and then they're both down to 2 because they started out with 3. So those were my 2 actions. And then at the end of my turn, before the free rest action, I deal 2 damage to the adjacent enemies, killing them. Fantastic. That's pretty badass. All right. So then all of this moves 1 spot.
And this damage continues. So should other enemies appear, you just continue to deal damage to them.
As long as this is in my cooldown track. Yeah,
exactly.
That's really cool.
Okay. Wow. So we have no enemies now to think of. So there's no enemy turn. That's good. But we need to still disable the console.
Yes.
So. Oh, and you move this one down to 5, right? Oh, it should be down to 5, right?
Yeah.
We spent 3 turns. So we have 5 turns to get back here and disable this console.
All right, how do we do that? Let's see.
Yeah, I will just flip our activation tokens. We can both take our turn. And when we are going to interact with something, we use the interaction bag.
This.
So this one here, yeah. So the goal of every successful interaction, it being disable a console, hack a door, hack something else, whatever interaction with an object you might be going for, in terms of fluff and lore, it's all a successful interaction is drawing 3 matching tokens from the interaction bag.
Exactly.
So, and for that to happen, you will use interaction cards, which some of us have more of, and we all have the basic interact, which allows, no matter how stupid your character is or how much alien fingers they have, they can always push some buttons.
Exactly.
So, and that allows us to draw a certain amount of tokens from the bag, and then we can keep one of the colors, and we want to get 3 in the end.
Exactly.
So we can each hack the same system and try to do it and see if we can get that console open.
Yes, and the white one is the wild card, but you don't want to have 2 of them, right?
No, exactly. So you want to draw one white one, but you don't want to do it as the first token you draw because then you're pushing your luck, not trying to draw a second white, which would cancel the interaction.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're
So let's see
closest,
here.
so
I am closest.
you can go ahead. Give that a go.
Yeah. Okay. That is a bit dangerous. I will try to do an interaction from where I am standing,
Okay.
and then because I have a long distance, I have a hacker scope here. I can only play it in 2. Interact with an object for 1 within 4 squares. You may add 1 die to this action and then deal 1 unblockable damage
Yourself.
to yourself afterwards. So I will try to go for 2 dice, which means I will receive a damage afterwards, which, but if it goes completely wrong, I will do a double rest. I will rest as my second action and try to get some of the damage off myself.
Right.
And in the beginning of my turn, I receive a focus per damage card I have in my track. So there is some synergy with dealing damage to myself that I recoup my focus. But I'm also, limited in my choices. And this here is a good example of how damage affect you because I would want to play it in slot 2 because I would get it back to my hand quicker, but I can't. I have to play it in slot 4, making it twice as expensive, which is suddenly not as efficient. And if you continue doing inefficient moves throughout the mission, you are more likely to fail, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do with 2 dice.
Ooh, there's a +2.
Okay, I will re-roll the 2 movement. Okay, so +1, +2, and I had already 1, so I can draw 4 tokens from the interaction bag for this console here.
Yes.
Aha,
Oh.
that's nice. A white one. Well, we haven't even interacted with it yet, so I might as well go nuts.
Come on, another purple one.
Yeah,
Another
so
purple
that's
one.
technically 2 purple, yeah. That's technically 2 red, but
Or
it
a
does
red
not
one.
help.
Get a red one or a purple. Yes, a
Yeah.
red one. Nice. Whew.
So these here are now a successful interaction of 3 red. I put any color not used back in the bag. And these are now out of the bag, meaning that we have learned a bit more information about the enemy system. We know how it's structured. By defining, we know that keeping red tokens now are not as great because there's a worse chance of drawing them from the bag. So the more time you spend on hacking, the better it is for you. I will do a rest action, and then I have spent my 2 actions. I get another rest, a free rest action in the end.
Oh yeah, you took your second action as a rest.
Oh, sorry, I should also have, of course, before that, I should have drawn another damage because I just used 2 dice. So I will just draw a damage.
From this,
oh, and I had this one here, so I would put this one on. Yeah, it doesn't change anything for now. So I do my rest action and then my free rest action. Whoop, like this. But if I had received a 2 or 3, it would have to go all the way on up on 4. So it could have been more hurtful. Flip this one and move the turn token down to 4. We are in good time here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that was it.
that was this mission segment, which means that if we succeeded on this, we go to mission update 2A. And if we failed, it would have been 2B.
Yes. All right, let's go there.
So let's see here. Yeah, 2A.
Okay, let me just read that. So Gamriel, the pilot, is on the comms. Commander, we've been able to download the schematics for the rest of the facility. It seems that there are 2 ways into the main research area. The north approach leads through the guard quarters and the south through the scientist civilian quarters. The security system and containment procedures only allow us to open 1 hallway at a time. The other hallway will remain locked. If you hurry, we'll be able to emulate standard access procedures and you'll get in unnoticed. Which one of the quarters would you want to go through? And then Ambrosius over the comm, tells us, "Well, thank you for the presentation, Camriel, but I have a few suggestions, or orders, since I'm in command. I don't see the need to take unnecessary risks. Take the south route through the civilian quarters. It'll be easier to eliminate unarmed scientists if you should be spotted. You know how I feel about witnesses." So we can ignore our commander's command and still take the guard quarters, or we go to the civilian quarters, which would be easier, but we'd also be, killing civilians probably. And I have less issues with taking out the guards. So, that's when the party of players get to vote.
Hmm. Yeah. So we would vote simultaneously, and as the mission begins, we've selected a player who would be the commander for that mission. So you do that in the beginning of each mission. You select who
Yeah.
will be the commander, because everyone gets a chance to be the commander. It's not a fixed thing. It's just more that sometimes you get into these conundrums where somebody should take the lead. Or I can force sometimes to have a commander has to be going somewhere, splitting the party, which is a D&D no-go, but
Yeah.
very good to do if you want to create tension. So in this case here, I would definitely also say we should just go in and maul everyone in the guard area and see
Exactly.
what the fight is all about. Because that's we are not as tech savvy as other characters might want to go the other way, because the chances that we have to infiltrate or do some other tech is probably higher than if we fight some guards.
Yeah, exactly. Scientists. We're not very scientific
No,
guys.
oh,
This
your
one's.
guy is very much a damage
Yeah, exactly.
dealer.
I'm a brawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
let's take on the guards.
Yeah. So we say the guards. So we will go to the next update here,
Yes.
and it says those who voted guard quarters, that would be us. We would then paint a symbol in our legacy folder next to Umbracious. I will just show. I will just show you here. Here's the one, your legacy folder. It's prototype-ish, so take that with a grain of salt. But in this case here, you would have to paint another mark with Umbracious here
Yep.
to showcase that your standing with him has changed.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the worse or for the better. It depends on what will happen throughout the mission. So I'm not trying to pass judgment on players. I'm trying to make them come up with proper solutions for the problems they're in.
Right.
So it could be that he actually views you as more competent, that you dare to go against him. It could also be that he views you as annoying.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah. So, and there will be more characters and other things that will be remembered by the game system.
Yeah. Yeah. That will
So
have an
without having a lot of
influence.
upkeep and stuff.
Exactly.
So,
Right. Cool.
yeah. So if the team chose the guard quarters, yeah, he's of course a bit disappointed with us.
So yeah, that's the green bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Umbracious says, "Commander, you disappoint me. Are you ready to do what it takes to finish the job? It seems like you have a soft spot for those who can't defend themselves. But is that wise, I wonder? Sooner or later, you will be forced to make hard decisions. We are here to win the long game of my species' existence in this galaxy." As you see the code loading on the screen, you promptly shift focus towards the door as it slides open, exposing you to anyone and anything in the guard quarters. When ready, continue to C4BA.
Yeah. So we will go to, let's see here, C4EA. That's this one here.
All right.
Okay, so here we need to move the blocked path from this one up here and down here. So now we have moved and we are now opening up here. So we need to play some Nightbanes in R1 and 2. So we get a couple of new enemies.
Okay.
This is a good showcase of some different enemies. We like that. So let's put number 1 here. And was it number 2 there? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so these enemies are tougher in some ways and easier in other ways because they do have 2 shields, but only 2 health. But they also do a ton of damage.
3 damage. Melee damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we have an enforcer over here in the corner.
Range of 6.
Yeah. So, and he shoots through shields. So
He's got 5 health. Wow.
yeah. And then we need to put in 2 drones, team size, so 2 patrol droids on yellow 2 and 3. So let's put those in here. Here are the patrol droids. There. So, and these are a bit different again. So here are some enemies to worry about.
Range of 3, deal 2 damage and a 5 health.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we need to put 2 doors. They signal the door we have to go, indicate where the door is we have to go through. Over here in the end.
Yep.
And yeah, so for this, now we update. So even though we had 4 turns left from previous segment, now the turn token is moved and updated to a time slot that reflects the challenge going on for this segment. So it's just continuously updated. You don't accumulate or have to lend turns from other segments. You only consider what is already there.
Yeah.
So turn limit is 11 for us, and get through the blast door to the east. And those who do not make it have to paint 1 scar. So the scars are the ones on your character sheet, all the way to on the left on your character sheet, out here.
On the right, yeah.
Yeah. That's because characters can die in between missions. They cannot die on a mission, but you can only be pulled out of a burning building so many times before you die, right? So if you continue to fail last minute firefights and whatever might happen, explosions and so on, then your character will slowly get scars that will potentially mean that they can die off during the course of a game. And then you would take a new crewmate into because you are guns for hire and you're a band of brothers kind of, so you will get a new character in and you can start that carries from where you are. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so hopefully you get very attached and you can shed a tear if that ever happens. So that is my goal, but let's see.
Yes.
Okay, so we have some triggers and condition. The blast door. Both parts of the door must be open for the players to go through. So there are 2 doors. We need to do 2 successful interactions to go through the door. Patrol droids. A patrol droid is inactive until the turn token reaches 2.
Right.
So we can put a little alert token here,
Oh, yeah.
meaning that if we reach 2 before we get out, then we might get shot on our way out. So, it can get a bit dicey. Or until attacked by players. So we can, of course, eliminate them, but they have 5 health, and we also need to get through the door. So,
yeah.
That's...
We might need that time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, but the enemies, we updated everything.
Borg 11 thumbs
You can
FMM
see
Doom
up here in the
browse.
top, there's a new EBC. So sometimes it updates to a new. It very much depends on what are the state of mind of the enemies.
Yay!
So that's why it's an enemy
Yay!
behavior card,
Oh
because
my
I wanted
gosh!
to reflect
Yay!
the enemies should
Woohoo!
act as the story progresses. So if they are suddenly like here, they are, the door goes up and we are trying to get in, and they're like, what? So they are disorganized defense, right? They are not, ready for this. So they are not as efficient as if it was planned attack, where they would be waiting for us and they would try to gun us down, right? Or other types of, there are behaviors for enemies that might the animals, so they're vicious and will kill everything, also themselves or other characters and so on. So I try to mimic proper behavior through the AI.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, we've had Fractal Mind Mike coming in, and thank you so much, Mike, for the subscription, the Prime Gaming sub. Awesome, thank you so much.
Cool.
I don't know if you've seen this before. We've streamed this before. This is Rogue Angels, a board game. It's currently in development. It's a prototype on Tabletop Simulator, so you can test it out. And we're playing it with Emil, the designer of the game, today. And we've already come pretty far in this mission, but it's getting tougher and tougher, of course, because now we need to take out a couple of guys and then open these doors before we can continue. So it's getting pretty hairy.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Mike. Good to see you.
So we will go to disorganized defense, and it uses the red side first. It has a parenthesis on the R for red.
Okay.
So disorganized defense. I've
Disorganized
sorted them
defense. Is that-
alphabetically, so
on the top.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Disorganized defense.
Yes.
The activated enemy will seek highest range to fight from when moving.
Mhm.
So for the melee, it doesn't matter, but for ranged enemies, they will pull back if they can, if they, So yeah.
Longest range, right? To
Ja, jeg
fight
skal...
from.
Jamen, du må godt gå op og se lidt sammen, Lukas, okay? Det må I lige finde ud af. Nå, okay, jamen, så kan du ikke. Okay, so the enemy, the lowest initiative enemy, will deal damage to nearest player, which there's nobody close by, right?
Yeah.
Then push all adjacent enemies 2 squares away from this enemy. So they will try to push you away if they can, after they've dealt damage, right? And then it will move to nearest player. So the first action... Lille, vil du være sød og gå op? Ja, vil du være sød og gå op nu? Vil du tage hende med om? Hvad? Ja. Nej. Okay, so... It cannot shoot anyone from where it is. It's a melee character, but will then move towards the nearest. So that would be my me down here in the corner.
Right.
So the other one will also move towards the nearest first, and then it will deal damage to nearest player, and then heal the most wounded adjacent enemy. So they will try to heal each other if they can. We will try to deal damage to them more efficiently, so they won't have to get into that conundrum. Yeah. Okay, so my turn has been spent. Previously, I unlocked the console, so you have to act on it. Lukas, vil du være sød ikke at gøre det der? Okay, jeg sidder lige og...
So let's see.
Min dreng, vil du være sød og gå op og ikke larme? Så vil det være rigtig godt. Ja. Ja, men jeg sidder lige midt i noget, ikke? Så...
I need to try and get close to them so my stance can deal damage to them.
Rolig.
But my movement is not that much. I can probably move 3 at best. So
Hvis du kan være stille, kan du godt sidde og kigge på, okay?
Hello there.
So, yeah, I just got a front seat gamer.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so you have to do something about those guys.
So, there's not a whole lot I can do, actually, because I can just move.
Yeah.
With my basic movement. But, well, I could... This is 0, so that would be in the 0 spot, and then I could still put something in 4, but there's no attack that I have right now. Next turn, I'll get my gun back, and then I can start shooting.
Yeah. And we know the yellows will go after the red ones, so we have a turn to set up.
Ah, that's good. And it's
to deal with the red
7,
ones,
so
right?
I need to be... So it's just one enemy, right? 3 to 7, so that's 1, 2, 3. So I need to be here.
Yeah.
At least here.
Then you could straight up kill one of them, yeah.
1, 2. Yeah, or there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I need to be there in this spot because 1, 2, or there, or there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that means basic movement. Let's move 1. I get a die. Let's take this one. roll that. Whee! Yes.
Nice.
That's 3 movement. That's exactly what I need. 1, 2, 3. Which means I'm now 1, 2, 3 from this guy.
Yep.
Well, then I'll take, as my second action, I'll take an extra rest action, I guess. Because there's not much else I can do. But that does mean that this will move faster.
But it doesn't affect... those guys have 2 shields, so those are unfortunately not a good... like, they will not work with your...
Right, it's not helpful.
But the droids, for example, which have no shield, or the guy, the enforcer over here, he has no shield. So it depends on the enemies when you. Yeah.
Then it's good to get that back sooner. Okay, so I'll take this back because it's in 0 anyway. I'll put that on the left here. Then I'll take 1 rest action as my second action, which means this one comes back to my hand. I'm gonna need that later, and then I get the free rest action. Move these up, and I keep this one back into my hand. There we go. And that's all of my actions. That's the battery spent.
Yep.
And that's my turn. So now...
That's your turn. So the turn token goes to 10.
Yep.
And we are in a lot of hurry for this one, if I remember correctly. Okay. So let me see here. Okay, this guy here. Okay, so we have the yellow one. There's only 1 yellow, and let's see what he does.
So we need to flip this to the yellow side.
Yeah,
there it is.
Ooh, okay, he shoots first, so that's just nice. He cannot shoot from there, so
okay.
He's the top row, of course. He's the lowest initiative, nearest player, and he will then move 1, 2, 3, 4. He can move 4, and he has a range of 6, so he can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can reach you next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was easy.
Yep.
So we can flip our tokens, and why don't you just you can kill somebody.
Start shooting.
Yeah.
All right.
I will gladly sit back and wait a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see.
You can also use, you can spend a shield if you want a certain death for one of them, or if you think you can roll the +1, that's also.
In the +1, I think I'll do that. Yeah. Can I do that after rolling the die, or no? I have to do that at
because. Yeah, that is the you pour in your resources, and then the resources you get are the things you go and do. No. So you have to commit to the resource.
Then I'll spend a shield to have a +1.
Yeah.
So that means I'm dealing 4 damage anyway. But it has it has 2 shields, so that would be enough already.
Yeah. So then your dice roll might just get your shield back if you've been so lucky, right? Or you can get some movement and then be aggressive and go for them or whatever, right?
Right.
So
let me get a shield. Oh, yeah.
That's your
I'll
shield.
take the shield.
Yeah.
So that kills this one. Oh.
Nice.
Put that one here. Nice. That's 1 death. I still have a second action. Sad that I can only use this once. Yeah, I could perhaps use the run and tear. Let's see.
Oh, right, because you have a damage. You have a dominating token left.
I still have one left. Yeah.
And it's unblockable, so that means you just straight up murder the guy. Yeah. I like that.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that is just 3. That's perfect. Yeah. So I'll do that, and the 2 is free. That's perfect as well. So run and tear. I do get a die.
Yeah.
I get to move 3 and then deal 1 unblockable damage.
And you want to make that 2 unblockable damage.
With the token, because there's that 1 damage is not in brackets, so I can't boost that one. I can boost the movement. Well, I might just want to do it. Let's just see what I roll.
Yeah. If you can move behind him and then kill him, that's even better, right? Then you are closer to our end goal.
There's 1 extra movement. Either a +1 or a movement, doesn't matter. So I get 4 movements. So it's 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3.
Yeah, and then see the interesting part is that here it's not completely. You got a movement, right? A movement, a green. See, if you had got a move 4, like a +1, then it would be move 4 and then deal the damage, right? But now you got a move 3, then deal the damage, and then the movement point can be used afterwards. So the movement point movement points can be used before or after, or if you get 2 movement points, be used before and after your action. Because
Right.
movement points are separate from the action. It's a resource that you combine with the action, but you program it as you see fit. So you have a lot of um, choices for how you want to deal with the random output you get right from the dice.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so that's kind of to combat the randomness of the dice is by allowing players to program it as they see fit.
Right. Right. Okay. Hey, Mike, thank you for pointing that out. Is this better? I've boosted the mic volume. I've doubled it. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it was still an issue. I was tweaking the wrong settings before. It's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, it's OBS is being weird. It used to work just fine. Sounds good here. Okay, good. That's a relief. So yeah, so indeed, like you said, this is important. So I didn't pick the +1. I picked the movement icon, and that
Yep.
means I could move 3.
You can now move.
Kill
yeah,
the guy,
and then you can move the.
move
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
inside here.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
If you had gotten 2, you would be able to move all the way up to this guy and then
Yeah.
deal the 2 damage you had from your stance
From stats,
on that guy,
yeah.
right? So,
Mm.
That's not always possible to do the full combo.
Well, actually, if I can spend the thing to focus to re-roll this and get the double movement.
Yeah, it's only on one side, right?
Yeah, it's 1
So
and
that's-
6. It's 1 and 6.
yeah.
So better not. Better
Yeah,
not.
it's
This
like
is
I
actually
think you will be using the focus when we try to get through the doors and get as many tokens we can draw out as possible.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
Well, he'll probably come. Does he come close? No, he's ranged, so he'll move away.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's your.
Let me think about that. Actually, you know, I was here, right? I was here. Yeah.
Yeah, you were here. You started 1, 2,
3,
3.
yeah, okay.
There.
I was thinking
So-
if I could stay in cover, then I would force him to come towards us instead of moving back.
Yeah, but also that one you get closer is probably not that bad, and if
Okay.
you get hit, you will
I still have
maybe
plenty
get
of
one of
shields.
your. Yeah, but he goes through shields,
Yeah.
so you.
Oh.
And that means that you might get one of your
Cards
cards
back.
back,
That's true.
which could be good.
That's good. That's okay. Well, let's just go with it.
Yeah, it's pros and cons for your
So that was my second action.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the free cooldown action, the free rest
Mm-hmm.
action. So that that didn't really catch on. That's weird.
yeah.
I'll take this back into my hand. I'll flip this, and that is my turn. And then the
Awesome.
enemies. So there's no red enemies left. So that means the yellow ones, and that's this one, activates
Yep.
again.
Yes, he does. Yeah. So, and did you move the turn token down?
No, I
Two.
didn't. No.
Okay, 9. Yeah. So we have 9 turns left. Okay, he will deal damage to nearest player. That is you. So you take 1 card,
All right.
regardless of your shield. Yeah.
So I take one of these damage cards.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me just see what that is. And thanks, Mike, for dropping by. Have a good sleep. Let's see.
Okay.
Avulsion.
So-
That's in spot 2, so I do get the rifle back.
No, you don't, unfortunately, because you can. If you read it when drawn, then
Yeah.
it says move an action card 1 slot to the right.
Right.
So you have to do that first, and then place this card on 2. So unfortunately, here you can only move.
This is the only one
The
I
rifle.
can move to the right. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then it goes to 2. So sometimes you're unlucky that.
That is very
Sometimes you can
unlucky.
be lucky that you move it upwards and then it falls down on what you want to get back.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, boy. My rifle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get that on spot 2. That's basically the only thing it does in normal mode. But we're playing on hard mode, so we get an ongoing. I cannot gain shields. But that's okay. I got plenty of them.
You don't- I have an ongoing here that says I have a range of -1.
-1. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if that is probably not going to matter now. I just need to play catch up with you. Okay, but this guy, he also moves towards nearest player, or the same player here, and since he can move away, he wants to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can still see you. So
Oh, we got another subscription.
awesome.
Borg11 Eek Borg11 Floppy, good day to you, sir.
Hey, Babylon
GG, my
Zoo.
dude.
Great.
Welcome in, thank you.
Borg11D6.
Thank you so much for the sub. And as you see, I've just switched over to Mix It Up, and it's still, there are some of the tags that I haven't worked out yet. So the command says an X number of months, and I don't know how many. But thank you so much. I'll have to figure that out. Mix It Up works differently from the Streamlabs chatbot. 5 months already. Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome in. We're playing Rogue Angels with Emil, the designer, and we're going through a pretty tough mission at the moment. We have to hurry and open up 2 doors while taking out all the guards in the meantime. So we're on the clock.
Yeah. Okay.
And Emil's up.
Yeah. So I just need to get going, I guess.
I think so.
Well, luckily I didn't get a fracture or something that would make my slow down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will use my run and break. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No matter what, really. Okay. I will start with my basic.
Base move.
But I don't think it will matter much. Oh, and I get 1 focus for my damage card here.
Oh, that's +2 on the movement, so you get
+2, so no focus needed for now. 1, 2, 3.
Nice focused movement.
And then I will use my run and brace. I could use my basic move again, but I want to get as fast as possible, and I can get a 4 here and a die. So let's see if that.
That's a shield.
That's a shield. I don't want that.
No.
No.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
2 extra
there.
movements.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So move. Okay, so move 4, and if this is your second action this turn, deal 1 unblockable damage.
Oh, another subscription.
Nice.
Borg11 thumbs.
Great.
Rosie, thank you so much. Yeah, Rosie, thank you so much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the playthrough so far. I know you've been here for a bit from the start, I think, actually. So
Awesome.
that's really
great.
cool. Yeah, glad people are enjoying
really
the game.
Great.
So you're gonna just move the 4 plus the 2
I can move up.
immediately.
Plus the 2. So I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I can almost reach him.
Oh, can't you move through me?
Du vil gerne i bad. Okay, men det skal vi nok finde ud af, ja.
Emil.
Du skal nok komme i bad. Men du må lige vente til jeg er færdig, okay? So, yeah.
Is it not possible to move through me?
No, you can only if the card allows you to. So, and some cards do allow you to. Some cards allow you to jump over other people and stuff. It depends on the character.
Yeah.
But as regular movement, you have to move around people, even though you can shoot through them. And yeah. So line of sight works through characters, but you have to move around them. They are obstacles that, you know.
Right.
Okay. So that was it.
Okay.
So I will just move mine. I just moved. Nothing crazy there. And flip and 1 down.
Yep.
And then
the enemy moves again. Or the enemy
then the enemy moves. Nearest player, so I get shot. Yeah. Okay, men jeg skal nok gøre det, lille. Okay, men du må lige vente lidt. So, okay, here is a good example, because now I also get to move an action card up 1. So I will move my run and tear up, and then I will place the 3rd down here, which means I get it back on my hand.
Yeah. Nice.
So I was lucky there.
That's
Yeah, and I cannot gain
same
shield
card.
either.
For you, it works brilliantly.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see that's because it was a 2 and this one is a 3.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. You could move it.
And you can also see on the illustration that the avulsion here is severe, and the other one is a regular avulsion. I think both are probably terrible to get, but you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he wants to move away from same player, but he cannot move any further away that makes sense, so he will just stand his ground there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And we can flip our activation
Tokens again.
tokens back. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
So,
boy.
okay.
Right. He has 0 shield, 5 health. Yeah, 5. That's
Yeah.
a tough one. Oh, boy. Shame I don't have my rifle.
Yeah. I think maybe I could. Okay, I can perhaps kill him. Yeah. Because I have a push weapon here that allows me to deal 2 times 2 damage to him.
Sorry about that.
So would that make sense?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so I will play it up here in 4. There's a die included.
That's a new card.
So let's see what.
Shock
Oh, and I get.
President.
I don't want the shield right now because the enemy. I actually would like a movement.
Yeah. Because this is
because
close range, deal 2 damage to an enemy within 3.
yeah, but I want to get closer to him so I can finish him off on my next turn with a basic interact or something.
Right.
That would be the. So I will spend a focus
Oh, yeah.
on trying to get a move. Yeah, yes, exactly.
But I see that if the movement is stopped by anything, which would be the wall, they suffer another 2. So that's
Exactly, and there is a wall behind him, so I will shoot him, deal 2 damage, and another 2.
Yeah. Oh, then
Because
you still
he's
need to
moved.
do 1. Yeah.
And then now that I have a movement on my here, I can move in to do my basic interact to just punch him in the face.
Just punch him, yeah.
Get
Punch
it
him
over
to
with.
death.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
So he gets 2 damage and then 2 damage
From
into the wall,
bumping into the
and
wall,
I'm allowed to move
one movement
1,
after that from the green
and then
icon.
I will do my basic interact, and with a die. So let's see. Ooh, that's nice,
more
because I
movements.
will then do my basic interact, which is the 5th damage he needs. He's dead.
Fantastic.
And then I can use my 2
to move to the
movement
doors.
to move towards the door.
Fantastic.
Highly
That's
efficient. I like that.
That is very efficient, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Just pull myself
So,
out of the
and this
kitchen.
one gets back, and that was my
Hey,
turn.
Paylor-san, welcome in. Good to see you. More people
So-
checking out the game. That's great.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of this part of the mission. If we
Yeah.
can manage to open both doors. We took out the guards. There's still 2 drones here, which are inactive if we don't attack them, or until our turn marker here reaches the second to last turn.
Yeah.
Then they activate. So we need to open
Yeah.
that door within, I think, 3 more turns, because you took a turn. Did you move the turn token?
I have moved it, yeah. So we have 4
So
turns.
4 more turns.
Yeah. So it can be done. It can be done.
It can be
I'm
done.
sure.
Yeah.
No. You
Unfortunately,
just need
I'm
to
not
get
very
here.
fast. Yeah, exactly. I'm not the fastest.
No.
I don't actually have anything that moves faster right now.
1, 2,
Than my
3,
basic
4.
But I could move
No,
3
that's
if I'm lucky with my roll, so I could have 2 times 3, hopefully. So
Or
let's just...
you could also rest to get this one back, and then use you have your shield you can spend, so you could get a +1 plus a die. That could also be a thing.
But then if I play it, I'd have to play it all the way on 3. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, doesn't really matter that much.
No.
Um,
So you could do 2 basic moves where one of them get a +1 from your spending of a shield, right?
yeah.
Or you can rest and get this one. It's kind of the same. It's not.
Well,
it's not a.
Technically,
So,
I could get, like 3 movement out of my basic movement twice if
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough.
Yeah.
And I still have some focus left, so I'm just gonna try that.
Yeah, and you can spend one of your shields to get a certain +1 on one of them. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's do that.
That would be good.
Let's add a +1 to that movement anyway.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Let's roll this. Give me 2 movement. Oh, +1. Well, that's 3 movement then.
Yeah.
That's fine. 1, to 3, and then I'll
Yeah.
take that back, of course, because it's at 0, then
Yeah.
play it again. And we'll roll the die once more. Come on.
Okay,
Another
but
+1.
you will still be adjacent to
One
of the doors.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's okay.
actually fine.
I will start working
With
on this
that door.
door then. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were my 2 turns. This comes back to my hand. I get a free rest action, so this moves to the left.
Yeah.
This one goes back to my hand. It's great
Yeah.
skill. And then I flip my token. And then
And we are down to 6 turns.
yeah, there's no active enemies left, so you can immediately start hacking the door.
Yeah, so you, yeah, we can both go. And you would definitely want to use your muscle regeneration to use those +2 and the shield to get, your basic interact can be quite potent, right?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Oh, right, I could do that. Okay. No, Yo. I will go first.
Okay. Good.
Because I will use this one and I will spend a inspiring token.
Yeah.
I can move you 2 squares, so I will move you on the other side of me. So you can also work on both doors. If something happens and your door is easily opened and mine is not,
All right.
and we then you would have to spend a turn or
An
action to
yeah,
do that.
exactly. Okay. That's clever.
And I will also receive a damage by using 2 dice because I definitely want to. So let's see what we get.
Oh.
Okay, +3, so that's
+3.
4 tokens I'm allowed to draw.
That's fantastic.
I will move you.
Yep.
Duk.
Thank you.
And I will start working on one of the doors here.
All right. Ooh. That's
nice.
Ooh.
And that's perfect.
Perfect.
So that's 3 blue because the white is the wild one.
Yep.
And I will move that door
Back over
away.
one door. That's amazing.
That was
with the first action.
Yeah, that was efficient. And I will take a damage. So please no screw up now. Okay.
1 to 2.
Okay, so
What happens?
I get this one on 3.
Okay,
It says
because,
place on 2. I
Two's
cannot put it on
taken.
2.
Yep.
So I need to put it on 3.
So you get that one back, which is good.
Yeah. It's not bad, no. But my ongoing is that my range is 1 lower. It doesn't matter because it's a minimum of 1, so you can always interact with something next to you.
Yep.
But if I had to shoot something further away or use my interact further away, that could have been a problem. Right? Yeah, come here, Henmitten.
So Pilot, you're also from Denmark, right? You're from Denmark, right, Emil?
Yeah, I'm from Denmark. Yeah, who is also from Denmark?
So Paler Zan, who is also in the chat, is also from Denmark. So you'll probably be careful what you say to your daughter.
Yeah. I will try to mind that. So, yeah, I have rested. My turn is over. We are down to 5.
Yep.
We just need to get through 1 door before the... Oh, this is... Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting exciting.
Awesome. Okay, well, I have a basic interact. Interact with an adjacent object for 1 plus an extra die, but that would only be 2, which would mean that I have to spend a second interact action to hopefully finish that. So I could use both my interact actions to try and open the door. Because...
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Because you could use your redirect or muscle regeneration, right? So you would get a +2 to your next action.
Let's see, muscle regeneration. Yeah, heal yourself for 1, and I don't have any damage, and gain a shield, which is nice, or gain 2 focus and +2 to your next action this turn.
The thing is, you would then get a +2 to your next interact action you would want to use. So it would start on 3 plus a die, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could then spend the shield to get so it starts on 4 plus a die.
Yeah.
But you could also just do 2 basic interact where one of them gets a boost from the shield, right?
Right.
And by splitting up your 2 actions, by using 2 times basic interact, you potentially counter if you draw an early white. You can just say, okay, I will stop there. But if you have boosted your second action so high by using the first action or not interacting, then you could fail on the second action. You know,
Right.
I don't know if you see where I'm going with this, but sometimes it's not necessarily good to boost one action extremely
Yeah.
instead of doing two actions, right? That are
Let's then just do the basic interaction twice.
Yeah.
Right.
You can still do one of them with a shield boost. So
Yeah, I'll use a shield, and so that's a standard 2 interaction. I still get to roll a die, so let's see if I can boost that some more.
Ja, dem kan du bare sidde og lege med.
Oh, +2. So that's great. So I got 4. So I'm being very brainy. All right, let's draw a token. I get a blue. Oh, that's not good, actually. Well, there's still 6 in here. We get a wild. So blue.
There's only one wild left, so yeah.
Purple. So we get a purple, or I still have one.
Oh,
I got a +2
nice.
and a shield.
Okay, yeah.
Wish me luck.
Yeah. Nice.
And a purple. So 2 purple and a wild. Fantastic.
Okay.
So that's great.
This has been almost flawless drawing from us this time. Yeah.
We've been very lucky. See, I can hack too. I'm not just brute force.
Yeah. No.
I has the smarts. All right.
Was that your first action?
That was actually my first action.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can just move out the map now with your basic move. Nice.
Yeah. Is that something we need to do? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can move out of just like if you move through a doorway. So
okay, cool.
So you can just move out.
Yeah. So I'll use that basic action. Maybe I'll get a shield from the die. You never know. I'll take one of these dice.
Yeah, but of course you cannot recharge your shield.
Oh, I can't. Well, I have to roll it anyway. So let's see what we get. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
What?
But yeah, so I get to move. So I'm moving out.
Awesome.
Oops.
And you
Toss.
finish your turn, then.
Yeah, I get this one back into my hand anyway. This moves away, so that goes into the discard pile. And this moves to the left one spot as well. And this gets flipped over. And I guess that's
we're down
turn.
we're down to 4 turns, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so and we can flip them back, and I will just nice and quietly walk out with a basic move. So there, and I will do a rest, and I will get another rest, and I am
fully healed.
Done with my turn, and we are on 3. So we managed just
to not trigger
before these were activated, and that is actually a significant thing here, because as you see, if success, så vælter det, så det kan du bare gøre. If success without trigger to continue to C4B, mission update 4A.
All right, without trigger even, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So let's see here. Whoop.
C4B.
Oh, that's not the one, right?
Oh, no, that's 5.
What was it?
We need 4A.
4A. C4B 4A. So let's see here.
So after these.
Oh, let me see here.
C4B.
Oh, that's just because I've called it 5, and let me just see. There can be an error here and there. It should have been 5. It should have said 5, yeah, because we are on mission.
Make a note. Make a note of that.
So, yeah, I will straight away.
Let me just blow.
So this one here, yeah. Every player, and now there is one of the other things that might happen is that every player must upgrade one of their own characters' 2 basic action cards with 1 sticker of their choice from their character's legacy sticker sheet. So now that we've completed a mission, sometimes there might be a reward because you have been, you're getting better and better.
Oh, cool.
As a character. So you can see here is an example of your
look at that.
Your sticker sheet.
Yeah.
It's still prototype, of course.
Yeah.
So bear with me here, but you can see you have a basic interact and a basic move, and they are all bare for now. There's nothing in the 4 spots here.
Right.
So you would now be able to put one of these stickers, one of these 4 stickers for one of them on here. So you would consider that, okay, you have already 2 red tokens in a mission, so you might want to use one of these, or you have a blue one, so you might use one of these, and therefore you would upgrade your abilities and your gear and your cards depending on your personality. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that is that's that. So
Kids in the back.
ja, ja, det er godt, Lilla. Okay, I will just write down here mission 4 and remember last update. Ja, når jeg er færdig, Lilla, så vil jeg gerne lege. Okay. Så. Ja, der går lige lidt tid, ja.
Pi must be laughing right now. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. We're actually making good progress here.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
All right,
and
so we got a bit
I
of
thought
text.
it would have been hard, but we made it.
We were lucky on several.
Yeah, we were.
Some good rolls. So Umbracious is over the comm. Glad to see you all made it through the first part of the complex. Now we need to check out the eastern wing. You won't have much time, as the Hellfires will soon notice their missing patrols. We'll monitor the situation and keep you informed from here. Keep an eye out for valuables like schematics and blueprints. Many assembly species have been busy experimenting here, trying to find alternatives to the energy technology provided by the Templars. Throughout most of the assembly's existence, the Templars have kept the other species in a diplomatic headlock by providing their superior technology without allowing access to the knowledge to replicate or alter it. I see.
Yeah. So, and now our next mission, mission 5, will start in a different way than if these droids were activated or if we had failed. So there are several ways our success or lack thereof, whatever it might be, will affect our performance in future campaigns or future missions. So I don't want to ever have people just replaying a whole mission because they failed. No, they have to deal with the consequences of what will happen moving forward. So if we had, if the droids would have activated, that means the enemy would have been alerted to our presence moving through the complex, which means on the next mission they would be waiting for us. Where now that we made it out without anyone noticing, we are
the advantage.
Entering without them knowing. So therefore it plays out differently.
Cool.
The next mission.
Super cool. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Emil, thank you so much for this. I mean, this is the end of this entire mission then, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
the aftermath is the end, and then you move on to a new mission whenever you want. So that is how it all.
Perfect. Yeah, I really like it. I've said it before. We've played this before, and every time it's just a lot of fun. It's really fun figuring out your actions with your cards. That I love that mechanism. Just playing the cards in a certain spot. They have a cooldown. Trying to figure out which cards are the most optimum, to play right now, and trying to press your luck with the dice. See if you can get that +1 that you need or an extra movement that you need. And you have the focus that you can spend to re-roll something, and your special abilities, in my case, with spending the shields to get some +1s here and there. That's just a lot of fun. So now, at the end of this, we would basically get back our tokens, right?
You would start a new mission. Would start with so there's no upkeep in between missions. You start with full shield, full focus, clean cooldown track, and with all the personality tokens. So
all these back,
you would just and that also means that the mission always starts a bit more hectic because you can deal with more enemies, but it gets worse and worse. Or you have to really spend your resources efficiently because they're slowly drawn out of each character as a mission progresses, right? So yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, I love that. I love the narrative, and I love the fact that your story can branch. You never know what's going to happen next, and which gives you a great replayability. On the one hand, it's there's a bit of a legacy aspect here because you're putting stickers on your character's cards to upgrade them,
Yeah.
so they permanently become stronger.
Yeah, they're permanent for that game, but you can reset them. So you can reset a character if you want to play with the character, go through it again.
Oh.
So I've decided to go with that it's resettable because people are not always in the same conditions as those who have permanent play groups and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But most people, I have a feeling most would want to try to play the campaign again, making different choices with a different character, and go full Paragon or full Renegade or Dark Side, Light Side, whatever you want to call it, right? But try different choices and stuff. So,
Yeah. So how does that work with the resetting? Because you're putting stickers on there.
Those will just be those you can peel off.
The vinyl.
I'm not familiar with the terms, but yeah.
Yeah, there's vinyl stickers. Gloomhaven has sets for that as well. So you can stick them on and then you can peel them off again. Oh, that's perfect actually. Yeah, because a lot of people, I kind of, on one hand, I like the legacy aspect because you're permanently kind of changing things.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you want to replay something with that same character, you'd have to be able to reset that.
Yeah.
So that actually works here. That's really cool.
And the way you paint on the character, you can also wipe that away.
Yeah, that's probably going to be dry erase then, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really cool. Really cool.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's so many other elements you will be able to gain cards. You can see over here, I've already readied the first 4 different packs of cards from different weapons you will be able to get along the way, and there are companions. There are loads of other things you will and they're also pets.
Shared weapons.
Companions and pets are the same, but companions are narratively driven NPCs, where pets are just companions that can die during combat. It's just like you might have a mount in a role-playing game or something, right? Where companions are affecting the narrative back and forth. So they cannot die in combat. They can die through the narrative.
Okay.
Try to spice it up and make sure that because that's what defines Mass Effect, and what I loved about Mass Effect, and what I wanted to be such a integral part of the game experience for my game is it needed to be you needed to get a sense of agency and connection to the play to the characters you're playing with, but also the ones you're using and the ones you're meeting up with, the NPCs, right? So they need to drive the narrative and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you did a really, really good job on all of that. Giving that a lot of thought.
Cool.
It's gonna be an epic game. I'm stunned by the sheer volume of the game and the narrative and the storyline, and that's pretty cool. And as I understand it, this entire game takes place in the Burning Suns universe, right? So, and I'm not too familiar with that. I know that there are novels of the Burning Suns stories.
Yeah. So my first game I did was a first strategy game I published was a Burning Suns game with this sci-fi universe, and then I contacted an author who wrote 4 books, and we published those in this universe. And now I'm using that lore. We did a wikia and to keep track of everything, and we did a lot of like lore is such an integral part of world building to make sure that you feel invested in what's going on.
Right.
So, and therefore I'm now taking it to a new level where I'm using all the species and the different things going on to really hopefully put a lot of great experiences and emotional experience into the player's hands, right?
Right. And does the story from the game tie into the story from the books?
Yeah.
Oh,
it does actually.
Nice.
It's not so that you would know exactly what's going on, of course. We'll try to balance that. But I want it to be so that you can get some interesting connections by reading it or playing it and have that. But it's not by any means necessary, not even by a long shot. It shouldn't be. That would be
No, okay,
awful.
but it's fun. You know, if you're interested in the lore of that,
Yeah,
you
then
might
you
want
can
to,
dive deeper.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. See if you can find the novels and read some more about the Burning Suns universe.
yeah.
All right. So, Emil, lastly, do you have an idea on when you're gonna bring this back to crowdfunding, Kickstarter?
Yeah, I have an idea. It all depends on the finances because it's a lot of money to do prototypes and to ship prototypes and get
Yeah.
reviewers to look at them and all that stuff. That's actually the chunk of money that is, that I need to in order to get the finances for doing another Kickstarter. But I'm hoping to get all that settled and done and have the games, the prototypes out and be played
Yeah.
so that I can launch somewhere in Q2 of next year. So May, hopefully,
Yeah. Oh.
April, May, probably more May, I
Mm-hmm.
think. That would be the so I hope can get as many people to get into it as possible. That would be awesome.
Okay, well, so anyone who's interested in it, the link just appeared in the chat. So if you go to that
Mm,
link, you can sign
yeah,
up for the
yeah,
newsletter, and then Emil
yeah,
will
yeah,
get you updated when it's
yeah.
time.
And there's plenty of there's also so much more to read about the Rogue Angels, and you can go. There's links to the online tabletop we have played,
Hmm.
so you can go and play it yourself as much as your heart desires. It's
Exactly,
all
just like
there.
we did. Yep.
Yeah, the first 30-ish missions have already been there, so the first two chapters are done.
Wow.
I'm working on the third chapter now, so
Okay.
first 350 pages have been created with all these branching narratives and stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And how many pages do you think the end will the book will have in the end? Because there's a whole lot of missions.
Oh yeah. I think it would be. It is probably around 800 pages because there are all these, like some missions are 20 pages long, not because you go through all of them, but there are so many choices that makes it different diversions, and whether you're successful one part or you choose to do one thing before another, and
Hmm.
some consequences are severely different from how you approach
Right.
to clear the missions and all
Hmm.
that. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that's it's been awesome. Thank you,
It
Emil,
has.
again
Thank
for
you.
your time and for the playthrough.
Yeah.
I had a blast, as
Yeah.
always.
Me too.
I love these type of games. I really do. I think this is great
Yeah.
fun, and I hope everybody who was here enjoyed it as well. Again, go check out that website. Go read about it. Sign up for the newsletter. And
Yeah.
let me just switch back to the full camera here so we can properly say goodbye to Emil.
Yeah.
And well, maybe we'll see each other again.
Yeah.
Maybe sometime
For sure.
closer to the Kickstarter.
For sure.
Yes,
For sure. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Raymond. So
you too. You too. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here.
yeah.
I'll go find someone to raid so we can go there. Everybody, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven,
Yeah.
either here on Twitch or on the YouTube channel, which, of course, we also have the socials here, so you can check out those
Awesome.
in the links in the chat. You can find me anywhere and keep updated. All right, Emil, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.